All right, so North Ireland and Scotland talked about, and Gibraltar also talked about possibly seceding. Should Britain vote to leave the EU now that they have? Do you think this would be what finally reunifies Ireland and causes Scotland to leave?
Part of me hopes so, part of me doesn't. But ultimately, I think it's going to be as close as this referendum was. Whenever we have anything like this, it's roughly 50-50.
Yeah.
The first Scottish independence vote was near enough 50-50. This one was near enough 50-50.
Yeah.
It will be just the same there. I hope they don't leave, but at the same time I do. I kind of supported them in the first referendum for Scotland. Our politics is so broken and corrupt. I wish them a lot of luck, and theirs seems to be less broken and corrupt at the moment. So on that front, they would do better separate from us. But we've been together for centuries, like thousands of years.
Yeah.
These have been the home countries, and we've had wars against each other. We've had civil wars. There's so much history, and there's so much. We're very different, but even in England, we're very different between the north and the south and the different counties. But ultimately, we're the same.
Yeah.
It's like when we look across at America, we're special friends across the pond, and it's the Atlantic, and we're like so. Geography doesn't seem to matter because we get on that well with yourselves. It's more about the history and how tight our cultures align. And it would really suck if they left. But it could be for the betterment. I mean, the finances are tricky. A lot of Scotland's finances were supposed to have been from oil for the first referendum, and oil's collapsed since, which sure will recover. But it's whether they want to go and produce enough stuff locally.
Yeah.
And then they could do it. Because they've survived there for thousands of years. It's whether, if you're voting to be part of the EU, but you want to produce things locally, that doesn't quite seem to work. I can't imagine that actually happening, that they vote to stay in the EU, but they start switching all their production internally. So that could ruin them, the fact that they just want to carry on importing, which won't be able to afford it.
Another thing I saw when I was doing, just a small bit of research before we started talking, is that Scotland particularly does a lot of trading through England. So if they leave the UK, this could have a huge impact on their trading and could hurt them.
Yeah, it would. I could imagine they'd just be able to switch that. I mean, it's shipping out of ports and airports. Would it affect electronic data? I'm pretty sure they've got their own connections to Europe. But they can always put some more in. You can always put in infrastructure. It's something that we're pretty good at as humans, is building infrastructure.
Gotcha. Okay. But as of right now, North Ireland is the only place that's already started talking about doing it.
For Ireland, I'd really love to see a unified Ireland.
Why is that?
I can't imagine that would be on the cards, but Republic of Ireland is already very much in Europe and separate from us. So if they can, that would be wonderful. If Ireland, I'd be happy if for Northern Ireland to leave if it meant a unified Ireland again. That would be awesome. That would be quite an achievement, though. That's been on the cards for too long, and there's been too much bloodshed. But I'd be down for that. I would still stay friends, I'd hope, so it'd be fine. as long as I can go over there for an actual Guinness in Ireland.